Every single day, Canadian seniors lose over 10 million to financial scams. That is not a typo. $10 million every single day. And the people behind these scams are not random criminals working out of a basement somewhere. They are organized. They are professional. They are using technology that is more advanced than what most banks use. And they are specifically, deliberately, and ruthlessly targeting people just like you. But here is what they did not count on. Canada just fought back. And what the government just launched could be the single most important financial protection tool you have seen in your lifetime. Seniors in Canada have been left vulnerable for a very long time. Not because they are not smart, not because they are not careful, but because the systems that were supposed to protect them were fragmented, slow, and completely unprepared for how quickly financial crime has evolved. Think about this. When most of the financial protection laws in Canada were written, there was no internet. There were no smartphones. There was no cryptocurrency. There were no AI-generated voice calls that sound exactly like your grandchild crying and begging you for money. The rules were old. The criminals got new tools and seniors paid the price. According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, financial fraud against seniors has increased by over 130% in the last 5 years alone. And those are only the reported cases. Experts believe that for every one fraud case that gets reported, at least 5 more go unreported because victims feel ashamed, confused, or simply do not know who to call. That gap, that silence, that shame, that confusion, that is exactly what scammers count on. And that is exactly what Canada's new Financial Crimes Agency is designed to destroy. So, what exactly is this new agency? And why is it different from everything that came before it? The Financial Crimes Agency, or FCA, is a newly established federal body in Canada created specifically to investigate, prevent, and prosecute financial crimes with a special mandate to protect vulnerable Canadians, including seniors, from fraud, scams, and financial exploitation. Now, you might be thinking, Canada already has agencies that deal with crime. We have the RCMP. We have FINTRA. We have the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. So why do we need another one? Here is the honest answer. Those agencies do important work, but financial crime against seniors has always fallen into a crack between departments. The RCMP investigates crime, but is stretched incredibly thin. FINRA tracks money laundering, but focuses on large institutional transactions. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre collects reports but has limited power to actually investigate or prosecute. What was missing was a dedicated, well-funded, senior-focused financial crimes unit with teeth. The FCA has teeth. It has the authority to investigate fraud cases that specifically target seniors and vulnerable adults. It can work directly with banks and financial institutions to freeze suspicious transactions before money leaves the country. It has a rapid response unit that can act within hours, not weeks, when a financial crime is reported. It coordinates with provincial agencies so there are no more gaps where cases fall through the cracks. And it has a public education mandate, meaning it is legally required to teach Canadians, especially seniors, how to recognize and avoid scams. This is not just another government office that collects paperwork. This is an active, aggressive, specialized force designed to go after the people who are stealing from you. The specific scams the FCA is going after because knowing these scams is your first and most powerful line of defense. The grandparent scam. This one is devastating because it targets your love for your family. You get a phone call, someone is crying. They say they are your grandchild. They say they have been in an accident or arrested or they are in the hospital in another city. They need money right now. Do not tell mom and dad. Please, grandma, please, grandpa. The voice sounds real. Sometimes it is a real recording of your grandchild's voice manipulated by artificial intelligence software that scammers can buy online for less than $50. Seniors across Canada have lost tens of thousands of dollars in a single afternoon to this scam. One woman in Ontario lost $22,000 before she called her actual grandchild and realized the call had been fake. The FCA is now working with telecommunications companies to flag and block these AI-generated calls before they reach your phone. The CRA tax scam. You get a call. Someone says they are from the Canada Revenue Agency. They say you owe back taxes. They say if you do not pay right now, you will be arrested. They demand payment in gift cards, wire transfer, or cryptocurrency. Here is what you must never forget. The CRA will never call you demanding immediate payment. They will never threaten arrest. They will never ask for payment in gift cards. Ever. Full stop. No exceptions. If you get this call, hang up immediately. Then report it to the FCA's hotline, which we will talk about shortly. The investment fraud scam. Someone contacts you often by email, sometimes through social media, sometimes through a friend who was already scammed. They offer you an incredible investment opportunity. Maybe it is cryptocurrency. Maybe it is real estate. Maybe it is a fund that promises 12% returns guaranteed. They are charming. They are patient. They show you fake documents. They may even send you small payouts at first to build your trust. Then one day you invest your life savings and they disappear. This is called a Ponzi scheme. And in Canada, it has exploded in the last 3 years, particularly targeting retirees who are looking to make their pension savings grow. The FCA has a dedicated investment fraud division that tracks these operations across provincial borders and internationally. The romance scam. This one is heartbreaking and it is far more common than most people know. A widowed or lonely senior connects with someone online. Over weeks or months, they fall in love. They talk every day. They share their lives. And then the person they love starts asking for money. Just a little at first, then more, then more. They always have an emergency. They always have a reason they cannot meet in person yet. By the time the victim realizes they have been scammed, they have often given away their entire life savings, sometimes their home equity. And they are not just financially broken, they are emotionally shattered. The FCA works with dating platforms and social media companies to identify these predators and remove them before they find more victims. The Medicare and benefits scam. Someone calls and says there is a problem with your CPP, OAS, or GIS payments. They say your account has been flagged. They need to verify your information. They ask for your social insurance number, your bank account details, your date of birth. Once they have that information, they do not just steal one payment, they steal your identity. And identity theft can take years to clean up. The FCA is implementing new verification protocols with Service Canada to make sure your benefit accounts are protected with an extra layer of security. Understanding what the FCA does in theory is one thing, but let us talk about what this actually looks like in your real life at your kitchen table with your real bank account. Real-time transaction monitoring. One of the most powerful tools the FCA has introduced is a real-time transaction monitoring partnership with Canadian banks. Here is how it works in plain English. When a scammer convinces a senior to transfer a large amount of money, especially to an unfamiliar account to cryptocurrency or internationally, the FCA's new system sends an automatic alert to the bank. The bank is now required under the new FCA framework to pause the transaction and contact the account holder directly before it goes through. This is huge because once money leaves Canada through a wire transfer or cryptocurrency exchange, it is almost impossible to get back. This pause system creates a window where the fraud can be caught before the money disappears forever. Several major Canadian banks have already implemented the system and early results show it has prevented millions of dollars in fraudulent transfers in just the first few months of operation. The Senior Financial Abuse Hotline. The FCA has launched a dedicated toll-free hotline specifically for reporting financial abuse and scams targeting seniors. The number is staffed by trained specialists, not automated machines, not general customer service agents, but people who understand financial crime, who understand what you are going through, and who have the authority to take immediate action. When you call, they can contact your bank on your behalf, initiate a fraud investigation within 24 hours, connect you with local resources if you need legal help, and help you file a formal report that goes directly into the national database. This hotline is also available in multiple languages because the FCA recognizes that Canada's senior population is beautifully diverse and that language barriers have historically prevented many seniors from getting the help they need. Community outreach and education. The FCA is required by law to allocate a portion of its annual budget to public education. This includes partnerships with senior centers, libraries, community organizations, and places of worship to bring scam prevention education directly to your community. These are not boring government pamphlets. They are interactive workshops, phone safety training sessions, and one-on-one counseling for seniors who may have already been victimized or who have a family member who is concerned about them. If you want to bring one of these workshops to your community, the FCA website has a request form where community organizations can apply to host an event at no cost. Cross-border cooperation. Here is something important that many people do not realize. A large percentage of the scams targeting Canadian seniors originate outside of Canada. They come from call centers in other countries, from international organized crime rings, from online operations run across multiple jurisdictions. In the past, this international element made prosecution nearly impossible. Canadian law enforcement could identify the scam, but the criminals were out of reach. The FCA has signed formal cooperation agreements with law enforcement agencies in the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and several other countries. This means when a scam operation is identified that is targeting Canadian seniors from abroad, there is now a legal pathway to pursue those criminals internationally. This is not just symbolic. There have already been coordinated international operations that have resulted in arrests and convictions directly tied to Canadian senior fraud cases. Your government benefits, your Canada pension plan, your old age security, your guaranteed income supplement. These are not just numbers in a bank account. For millions of Canadian seniors, these payments are the foundation of everything. Rent, food, medicine, dignity, and scammers know this. They know exactly when CPP and OAS payments land. They time their calls around those deposit dates. They create fake Service Canada websites that look absolutely real. They send text messages and emails that appear to come from official government accounts. The FCA has taken several specific steps to protect your benefit payments. First, they have worked with Service Canada to implement what is called a two-factor authentication system for online benefit accounts. This means that even if someone gets your password, they cannot access your account without a second verification step, usually a code sent to your phone or email. Second, they have created a verified contact directory, which is a publicly available list of the only official phone numbers and websites that government agencies actually use to contact Canadians. If someone contacts you from a number that is not on that list claiming to be from Service Canada or the CRA, you now have a simple way to check whether it is legitimate. Third, they have established what is called a benefits protection flag. If you call Service Canada and tell them you are concerned about scam activity related to your account, they can place a flag on your file that requires any account changes, including address changes, direct deposit changes, or contact information updates, to be verified in person with government-issued ID before they take effect. This last one is particularly important because one of the most damaging scams involves someone calling Service Canada pretending to be you, changing your direct deposit information to their own bank account and collecting your benefits while you wonder where your money went. The benefits protection flag stops that cold. If you have not already done this, I strongly encourage you to call Service Canada after watching this video and ask them to put that flag on your account. It is free. It takes about 5 minutes and it could save you months of financial pain. I want to take a moment here and speak directly to anyone watching this who has already been victimized. Maybe it happened recently. Maybe it happened a year ago and you have been carrying it quietly, feeling ashamed or embarrassed. Maybe someone in your family was scammed and you are watching this to help them. First, I need you to hear this clearly. Being scammed is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign that you are not smart. These are professional criminals who have spent years perfecting techniques designed to bypass your natural defenses. They exploit trust, love, fear, and urgency. They have defeated corporate executives, government officials, doctors, and lawyers, being targeted and deceived by a sophisticated criminal operation says nothing negative about you. Nothing. What matters now is what you do next. Step 1. Do not be silent. The shame and silence around financial fraud is one of the biggest reasons scammers keep winning. Report it. Talk about it. You are not protecting anyone by staying quiet. In fact, reporting your experience could protect the next person from going through the same thing. Step 2. Contact your bank immediately. Even if you think it is too late, call your bank, explain what happened. Ask them to flag the transaction and begin a fraud review. In some cases, especially with newer FCA protocols, banks have been able to recover funds even after they were transferred. Step 3. Call the FCA hotline. Even if you are not sure whether what happened to you counts as fraud. Even if you think it might have been your fault, call the hotline. That is what it is there for. Trained specialists will help you understand your options, document what happened, and connect you with any recovery resources that may be available to you. Step 4. Report to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre. Their website is Anti-Fraud Enter Centre, and their phone number is 1-888-495-8501. Every report helps build the national database that investigators use to identify and shut down fraud operations. Step 5. Reach out to a community legal clinic. Many provinces have free legal clinics specifically for seniors dealing with the aftermath of financial fraud. They can advise you on whether you have legal recourse against anyone, including in some cases financial institutions that failed to flag obvious warning signs. Because as powerful as the FCA is, the most effective protection always starts with you. Here are the essential rules that every Canadian senior should live by in today's world. Rule 1. Slow down when you feel rushed. Urgency is the #1 weapon scammers use. They create panic. They tell you something terrible will happen if you do not act in the next hour. They do not want you to have time to think, call a family member, or verify their story. The moment someone pressures you to act immediately with your money, that is your signal to stop completely. Hang up the phone, close the browser, step away. A legitimate organization will never penalize you for taking time to verify. Rule 2. Verify independently. If someone calls you claiming to be from your bank, the government, a utility company, or anywhere else, do not use the phone number they give you, and do not call back on the same call. Hang up. Find the official phone number on your billing statement on the back of your bank card, or on the official website. Call that number yourself and ask if there is actually an issue with your account. This one simple habit will protect you from the vast majority of phone-based scams. Rule 3. Never pay with gift cards, cryptocurrency, or wire transfer. No legitimate government agency, no real bank, no genuine business will ever ask you to pay them in gift cards. If someone asks you to buy iTunes cards or Google Play cards to settle a debt, pay a fine, or secure your account, it is a scam 100% of the time. No exceptions. Rule 4. Protect your social insurance number like your life depends on it, because your financial life does depend on it. Your SIN is the master key to your identity. With it, someone can open credit cards, apply for loans, change your benefit deposit information, and file fraudulent tax returns in your name. The only organizations that ever legitimately need your SIN are your employer, your bank when opening a new account, and the federal government for tax and benefits purposes. That is it. Anyone else who asks for it should be treated with serious suspicion. Rule 5. Talk to someone you trust before making any financial decision. This is especially important for larger amounts. Before you transfer money, before you make an investment, before you give out your banking information, tell someone, a family member, a trusted friend, a financial advisor. Scammers work hard to isolate their victims, to convince them that this needs to stay secret. That secrecy is a massive red flag. If someone tells you not to tell your family about a financial transaction, run. Rule 6. Learn the official FCA resources. Bookmark the FCA website. Save the fraud hotline number in your phone. Share this information with your friends and family. The more people in your community who know these resources exist, the harder it becomes for scammers to operate. Why? The creation of the FCA is about more than just preventing individual scams. When seniors lose money to fraud, the consequences ripple through entire families and communities. A retired couple who loses their savings to a scam does not just suffer personally. Their adult children may need to provide financial support, pulling resources away from their own families. Their health can deteriorate from the stress. Their independence is threatened. Their quality of life can collapse virtually overnight. And when we talk about seniors losing their CPP, OAS, and GIS benefits to fraud, we are talking about the most financially vulnerable members of our society losing the safety net. that they paid into their entire working lives. There is also an economic argument that often gets overlooked. When seniors have financial security and are protected from fraud, they spend more confidently in their local communities. They support local businesses, local services, local economies. Financial security for seniors is not just a moral issue. It is an economic one. The creation of the FCA sends a message that the Canadian government recognizes that protecting seniors from financial crime is a national priority, not an afterthought. It is not perfect. No government agency ever is. It will need more funding, more staffing, and ongoing accountability to do everything it promises. But it is a significant step forward, and it is one that every Canadian senior should know about, understand, and take full advantage of. Let me answer some of the most common questions people have about the FCA and financial protection for seniors. Q. Is the FCA only for seniors? The FCA's primary mandate focuses on protecting vulnerable Canadians, and seniors are the explicit priority group. However, the agency also covers financial crimes targeting people with disabilities, people experiencing cognitive decline, and others who may be considered vulnerable under its framework. If you are unsure whether your situation qualifies, call the hotline and ask. There is no harm in checking. Q. What if I was scammed a long time ago? Is it too late to report? It is never too late to report. While older cases may be harder to investigate, your report still contributes to the national database and helps identify patterns that protect future victims. Report it regardless of when it happened. Q. My family member thinks they are being scammed but will not listen to me. What can I do? This is one of the most painful situations a family can face. The FCA has a family support line specifically for people who are concerned about a loved one's financial vulnerability. They can advise you on how to approach the conversation, what legal options may be available, and how to involve the appropriate authorities if the situation is urgent. Q. I am uncomfortable with technology. Can I access FCA resources without a computer? Absolutely. The FCA hotline is a phone-based service with no technology required. Community outreach programs happen in person at locations across the country. You can access every important resource by phone or in person. Q. How do I know if a website or phone call claiming to be from the FCA is real? The FCA's only official website is operated under the canada.ca domain. Any website claiming to be the FCA that does not end in .c or canada.ca should be treated with suspicion. The official hotline number can be verified through the canada.ca website or by calling Serviciata at 1800 Canada. Canada has launched the Financial Crimes Agency, a dedicated federal body with real authority and real resources specifically focused on protecting you from financial fraud and scams. The FCA has the power to work with your bank to stop suspicious transactions before your money is gone. It has a hotline staffed by real specialists who can help you immediately. It is working internationally to pursue the criminals who target Canadian seniors. It is partnering with Service Canada to add new layers of protection to your CPP, OAS, and GIS benefits. And it is legally required to educate and support Canadian seniors through community programs. The best thing you can do right now is save the FCA hotline number, ask Service Canada to put a benefits protection flag on your account, and share this video with someone you love who needs to hear this. Because this information is only powerful if it reaches the people who need it most. You deserve to keep every dollar you have worked your entire life to earn. You deserve to receive every benefit you have paid into. You deserve to live your retirement with financial dignity and peace of mind. And now you have a new powerful ally standing in your corner. If this video helped you today, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel right now. Every week we bring you the latest information about your benefits, your financial rights, and the tools available to protect your money. It is free, it is easy to understand, and it is made specifically for you. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay informed, and we will see you in the next.